Hello! As you can tell tonight, I am not your typical documentary host. Instead, the production team has decided to do what Michael Dell once said. Think unconventionally, and do what the competition tends to believe cannot be done. As you can tell tonight, I don't have a deep voice, I don't have a British accent, and some people actually say I might have a hard to understand accent. So welcome, I am Matias Barbero and I will be your host for the evening as we take a look at Michael Dell's life. Michael Dell, an entrepreneurial genius. Michael Dell is the founder of Dell Inc. He created one of the most profitable computer companies in the world, with revenues of over $61 billion in 2008. Today, Michael Dell is one of the wealthiest men on the world, with a net worth estimated to about $17.3 billion. Now, let's take a look at how he got to this point. Michael Dell was born on February 23, 1965, as a middle child of an upper middle class family. His father was an orthodontist and his mother was a successful stockbroker. He attended Herder Elementary School in Houston, Texas. Dell's first business venture came when he was just 12 years old. He discovered stamp collecting. To fund his entry into this business, he got a job at a local Chinese restaurant washing dishes. He quickly discovered a stamp catalog that allowed him to buy direct from other collectors. There it occurred to him to bypass them and to create his own auction selling stamps to all his friends. With this, he started a catalog with his own mailing order and I even advertised on the Lean Stamp Collectors. In other words, this 12-year-old Michael had created his own direct response catalog to sell products without a middleman. And with this, he earned over $2,000 while his friends were cutting grass for ice cream money. Dell had his first encounter with a computer when he was just 15 years old, and he convinced his parents to get him one for his birthday. Within minutes, he broke down his brand new Apple II computer to see how it worked. When Michael's parents discovered their very expensive gift already in pieces, they could not believe it, but luckily for Michael, he was able to put it back together. Later, in 1981, when the first IBM came out, Michael rushed to get one for himself, only to disassemble it quickly to see all the parts that were inside of it. Dell attended Memorial High School in Houston, Texas, where you could say he was not the greatest student. He would skip school for weeks at a time to go to computer conventions. He did, however, exhibit alarming business instinct, selling subscriptions for the Houston Post and managing to make over $18,000 at the end of high school. With this money, he got another computer and what we could say a pretty nice BMW. Then he attended the University of Texas in Austin. He started a computer company called PCs Limited in his dorm room in Dewey Center. One day his parents decided to go on a surprise visit since they had found out that Michael's grades were slipping. He said his dad was angered and said, "You gotta stop with this computer stuff and concentrate in school. Get your priorities straight. What are you gonna do with your life?" And Michael looked at him and said, "I want to compete with IBM." And his father laughed. The ultimate decision of his life came in May 1984, when he registered the Dell Computer Corporation as doing business as PC Limited. Michael's company became successful enough that with the help of an additional little loan from his grandparents, just 1 week before finishing his freshman year, Dell dropped out of the university to run PCs Limited. Dell started building and selling personal computers from stock computer parts. The idea that set him apart from others was to sell directly to the customer, rather than going through a third party to sell his products. PCs Limited allowed the customer to customize their computers to their specifications before it actually was built. With this, the prices could be kept much lower than the competition's as they had no stores or middleman to pay. All the computers were sold direct to the customers with order forms. With the initial $1,000, Michael rented a 1,000 square foot office and hired a few guys to take orders and build the computers. Everything was going so well that within a year, just a year, he upgraded to a 30,000 square foot warehouse and hired people very quickly. One of Michael's strategies from the beginning was to have a strong customer service. Therefore, he would make all his salespeople build their own computers so they could anticipate any potential problems. Later, Michael decided that if he could produce an IBM-compatible computer that was faster than any IBM, he would secure a market. At that time, IBM had 70% of the computer market with their 6 MHz 286 computer that sold for just about $4,000. So Michael came up with a 12 MHz IBM compatible computer that cost just $2,000. The new computer was released at the Comdex show in 1986 and was the fastest PC on the market, beating IBM and even taking the cover of PC Week magazine. Being first to the market became key of Dell's strategy. Michael said, "I believe it's better to be first at the risk of being wrong than it is to be 100% perfect 2 years late." In the fall of 1986, Michael decided to have a brainstorming meeting to reach his target of selling over $1 billion by 1992. To do this, he set in place the idea of having simply the best customer service would do it. Dell promised to send a representative to fix a computer in your location within 24 hours. The next big idea that he came up with was to open Dell in the UK. During the launch, over 22 journalists told him that the company would fail because direct marketing, in their opinion, was simply not on the British culture. Dell UK not only was successful, but it actually became the dominant computer company in the UK. In 1988, PCs Limited had its name changed to the Dell Computer Corporation. Dell had its initial public offering that valued the company at roughly $80 million. In 1992, Dell Computer Corporation was selling over $1 billion and was listed on the Fortune 500 list of the 500 largest companies in the world, making Michael Dell the youngest CEO of any Fortune 500 company. The company continued to grow and expand dramatically year after year, eventually selling more computers in the US than any other computer company. Sales of $49 billion and profits of $3 billion in 2004. Dell Computer Corporation became Dell Inc. as they moved into other areas of business. Dell Inc. now has an expanding product line that includes entertainment systems and personal devices. Michael later published his book, Direct from Dell, Strategies that Revolutionized an Industry. On his book, he explains how he's turned his $1,000 company into a $100 million company. On March 4, 2004, he stepped down as CEO of Dell. Just 3 years later, after resigning, he came back as CEO of Dell. During his career, Michael Dell was recognized by many, including Entrepreneur of the Year from Inc. magazine, Man of the Year from PC Magazine, Top CEO in American Business from Worth Magazine, CEO of the Year from Financial World, Industry Week, and Chief Executive Magazine. Michael Dell also wrote what he believes are the 3 golden rules for entrepreneurs today. Dell is built on the idea of taking advantage of bad distribution systems. Therefore, rule number 1 is sell direct. Golden rule number 2 is disdain from inventory. Selling direct makes a company able to have minimal inventory and just acquire it as is needed. And that brings us to golden rule number 3. Always listen to the customer. Dell's success was by selling direct to customers exactly what they wanted. On his book, Michael said, "Other companies had to guess which products their customers wanted because they built them in advance of taking their orders. We knew because our customers told us before we built them their product." Michael Dell's success is clearly because of his innovative idea of selling direct. Michael Dell's legacy might be to simply ignore what experts say. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and remember, like Michael said, under-promise and over-deliver. Thank you and good night.